hell is even that?
That is one big pilot.
For a modern gaming audience.
Why are you running?
Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
We're communists.
Woke.
Would you please get your politics out of my comic books? I'm like, what comic books are you reading?
I'm cured! Praise God!
He evaded!
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
For a modern gaming audience.
If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble.
Welcome to Nerd Wars. Sorry about that. Welcome to Nerd Wars.
Please clap.
Yes. Welcome to Nerd Wars. What few remaining subscribers I have left. Thank you for joining us and helping me further destroy my channel. I blame our guest here, Ryan Roger Athe, for telling me how many subscribers I'd lost. And now it's become reality. Thanks to him. If I had just been living in bliss and ignorance, I would have been fine. But nope.
Well, as they say, Erwin, the truth is reality-based. It's great to be here, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all doing well. And it's great to finally meet this most talented of creators, the Angry Badger. Hopefully, he'll be the head of the next generation of pop culture content creation.
Please don't say that. I don't think Erwin can take any more.
He's overrated.
Come back. Yeah, I am. I am overrated, but you are not. I do feel like I got sold a little bit of a lie here. I agreed to do an interview with I thought older, stately gentleman with a nice, magnificent beard, long hair. And here I have a young pup that apparently really is 24. And I don't understand that because you sound way more put together and smarter than I was. Even now, let alone 24. That's a long way to say hi. Good to see you. Guys, see Ryan. Nerd, come on. You're all right, man. They didn't deserve you anyway.
I agreed. Well, actually, we got a thing for that. And just so you guys remember, you're a co-host and guest.
If there's anything more important than my ego on this ship, I want to cut and shut right now. Hey, come on.
All right? Just don't forget it, or you're getting put back in your co-host cage. Hey, what's up, Space Rebel? I'm glad you're still subscribed, unlike everyone else. I just want them to love me. For the 15 of you that are here, I will say I am tonight gonna start working on writing my Nerd War on Wook video. I've got all the clips. It takes so much time, guys. I gotta do something else or I'm gonna go crazy.
He's working on it, Stephs. He's working on it. I just call you Keyboard. He's working on it, Keyboard.
I love seeing all the troll accounts in here.
They're the best ones. I love all the new ones when they come out.
They're very special people, and they're very, very important to this movement. They are indeed saving the world while also trolling all of our favorite creators. I love them so much. All right. You guys got any crap to say? Blah, blah, subscribe to them or something. I hate plugging. This Angry Badger, I kind of hate him a little bit. This one's Roger. He loves to be called Roger. Just call him Roger. They're all growing. What's it like having YouTube channels that are growing, guys? What's that feel like?
It's slow, very slow, but steady for me. This guy has done what few creators don't start your
no idea.
Badger, don't start your own show on your current channel. Create the Angry Badger live.
Yes.
Do your own show live, and then use your main channel to plug your secondary show channel. I think it'll do very well for you.
I meant to ask, he wants to do some reviews here and there. Do you even think he should do that? Because I'm like...
Well, when it comes to content creation, for me, this is my specialty, folks. Not pop culture, not even political stuff. My niche is analyzing fellow creators and what they should and shouldn't do. And for me, keep on going, keep on growing, and you'll go far as a rising star. I always like to repeat myself.
Did you mean that?
The more videos a creator does, the better, if they can find the time to.
That's what I thought.
Ideally, 3 a day. Ideally, but practically that can be difficult. But 3 a day, 6 or 7 days a week, and through sheer force of will, I have managed to get to nearly 1,900 subscribers. I think I'm 9 away now after making over 2,400 uploads, 200 of them shows, and 2,200 of them videos. So
that is impressive. I think I'm approaching 300 videos, but doing exactly what you said. I will say now, I shamelessly copied Ryan from RK Outpost because that's who I was watching. Okay, I could do that. 3 videos a day, maybe 2 on weekends, 3 or 4 hours apart on something. That's the only thing. If I can't find 3 things I care about, even a little, I will not make 3 videos. I will never do a video on something I don't care about a little bit, because if I don't give a shit, you will not give a shit.
Yeah, I'm thinking about going back to 1 video a month. That was working better for me. All right, everyone's tired of hearing us talk about how woe is Erwin. He is just so attractive and hilarious, and yet he's losing all these subscribers, despite how attractive and hilarious he is. So we're talking about Disney CEO Bob Iger announces slowdown in Marvel content, but wokeness will stay. Just when you thought it was safe to go back into the water. Well, thankfully, that water is going to be a little bit lower than it was. And then we get Moana 2. If I'm not mistaken, we're also getting the live action, and they're cutting back on Disney Marvel's output. That's good, right? We're gonna go back to the things we actually like, not stick a chick in it and make it lame and gay. I blame the superhero fatigue. What do you blame, Badger?
I mean, a lot of this is it's a big ship that can't make course corrections quickly. There's a lot of things that they already have in the pipe that they can't change. Unfortunately, they could minimize it, they could do reshoots, but a lot of this stuff they just can't. Like, trust me, if they could, they would get rid of Ironheart, which has been done and reshot and done and reshot. So there's a lot of things they just have to do. And yeah, Kevin Feige's still there. He's the one, for whatever the reasons, that said he wanted to make half of the superheroes women or more, and he's done it. Why would he change? They can't admit failure.
I heard Kathleen Kennedy's been fired. Have you heard that, Raj?
Do you have to wear a gimp suit to make that statement?
No comment. We're causing drama. He openly acknowledged the company's previous zeal in churning out content, driven in part by the push to grow its streaming platform. That's what all these guys did. They're like, we have to sink lots of money into it so that way it will eventually be successful. And they sank a lot of money into it, and, well, we saw how that went. He suggested may have led to a loss of creative focus across some of its studios. Yeah, it wasn't the focus that was the problem. It was the complete destruction of creativity that was the problem. Bob Iger was being deliberately obtuse and failed to have regard for Marvel's fans' call for an end to woke content, race swapping, and sex swapping of their favorite Marvel characters. Woke propaganda in Marvel shows and their calls for creators to stay true to the source material. Do you think they're going to stay true to the source material, Badger, or do you think they're going to keep on going with this woke crap?
I mean, we literally just saw that they can't stay true to the source material because they're not allowed to hire people that know the actual source, but they're told it's a negative if you know, and we want to do something new and fresh. So they couldn't follow the source material if they wanted to.
Yeah. Roger, you think we're going to be saved from wokeness, or you think it's going to keep continuing?
I am thoroughly convinced, Erwin, that the writers for Disney Marvel cannot read a comic book even if they tried. Most of them are Americans. And
Slander.
Well, the truth is reality-based. And as a result of not having a frame of reference for their characters and for their stories, no wonder it's all going down the tubes. They're bleeding out financially. And, well, if enough shareholders say, fuck this shit, I'm out, my goodness, talk about a stock market crash.
So my question then is, what do you think the shareholders are going to have to say about the Thunderbolts that absolutely nobody asked for? Badger, are you excited for Thunderbolts?
I can't wait to see Yelena girl boss everyone around, even though I think they say Bucky is supposed to be the one in charge. And
that's not what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, of course they're going to put her well, she has to be in front. She's so small they wouldn't be able to see her if she everyone in front. Yeah, no, they've already reshot. This is another one they've already reshot several times, or had massive. I know they always say, oh, we account for reshoots. We're not talking about picking up lines of dialogue. We're talking about entire sequences, entire new writers being brought in, not just reshoots. Like, they're redoing the movie, all of them. They've redone all these movies. Captain Black, Falcon Soldier, whatever.
Whoa!
They've done all Falcon.
They almost dropped a gamer word there.
No, I say Big Fig.
You are fined 1 credit for a violation of the verbal morality statute.
Fuck you.
Roger, any thoughts on Thunderbolts?
I mean, they look like if the Avengers were tramps. They look like a dirty version of the Avengers.
Yeah. Dollar store Avengers. Yeah.
It's so sad that the Winter Soldier has been reduced to being a bit character. Now, that would have been a great character to be Captain America instead of brownifying, because they're not black, they're brown, they look brown, and they sound brown too. And then the whole Falcon and the Winter Soldier series was just...
Well, and then this guy... That's like the fake Captain America, right? Where like the U.S. government tried to make one, and then
he's the real one.
Then Falcon's all like, "No, I'm Captain America," right? And then so we got Taskmaster, that's a whammon, and then that's what, like Ghost or whatever. And then who's the random Asian woman? Does anyone know who this is?
That's Elaine from Seinfeld. That's Madame Hydra, Allegra Desfontaine or whatever. Yeah, that's supposed to be Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Madame Hydra that puts them all together.
I thought it was an Asian woman. Yeah, just
good thing you didn't say anything.
Just goes to show how popular Disney Plus shows are.
The X-ray girl of the Tramp Avengers.
Yeah, exactly. So, for 2025, we're getting Fantastic Four that I feel like is going to do about as well as the last Fantastic Four. And then Captain America Brave New World, assuming they ever get it reshot and released. Who knows? We might even get a different title to it by then. Either, let's see, Badger, you got any faith in the Fantastic Four or Captain America movies?
Well, the Captain America one, no, because for all the aforementioned reasons. The Fantastic Four one, I thought they were doing that after the reboot. They're dumb enough to actually put the Fantastic Four into this version of the MCU and ruin them out. Now, they might be like, it's in the 60s, it's partitioned off, and we just introduce him here. And then when they come into it, actually, it's during the Secret Wars. But no, they're going to mess it up. And Pedro is Mr. Fantastic. And I'm pretty done with Pedro. So, Invisible Woman's going to lead the team.
That dude is a terrible actor. I'm sorry. I never saw Narcos. Apparently, people like him in Narcos. The like 2 or 3 things I've seen him in, such a bad actor. I don't understand why he's in everything. And then you read his Twitter.
He's a prick.
You read his Twitter and it's like, oh, now I understand why he's in everything.
But yeah, I'm not going to retroactively be like, that's a Trump thing. I never liked him. I liked him. I liked him in Game of Thrones and I liked him in Mandalorian. But yeah, he got a little mouthy. I certainly don't like him in his personal life. And he's not perfect in everything by any means, but I don't need to see him in everything. But now as you just said, that's why he is turning up in everything, because he says the right thing to the right people.
The Mandalorian, though, he didn't even have to act. It was all,
at least the first season he did, because he wasn't in a lot. Then he mouthed off about not showing his face, and they just replaced it with the stuntman and was like, okay, just do the dialogue by phone. And the next one, he's not even going to be Mandalorian.
But I mean,
Katie Sackhoff.
The character himself is just emotionless. So
it is, but it was not exactly stoic, and at least in body language. But again, that was mostly the stunt doubles, not really Pedro.
Pedro Pascal is a great example of it's not what you know, it's who you know. I mean, Steven Seagal is. Steven Seagal is another great example of this. The man made tons of films with Warner Brothers because he was friends with the guy who ran it. And we're seeing this with Pedro Pascal. He is well known in Hollywood circles. He's clearly made the right friends, and as a result, he gets more roles than you can shake a stick at, so to speak. But as for Fantastic Four and for Captain America, the new one, whose name could be 1984. For we know.
I'm putting you in timeout. Brave New Order, Brave New World, or whatever it is. It's so on the nose.
You mean the NWO for life?
Well, the original story it was supposed to be a January 6th analogy where Harrison Ford, who is playing the president, he's playing the reswapped Thunderbolt Ross, and he was supposed to be recruiting all of them for his new posse. When they reject him, that is when the whole thing starts. And the Thunderbolts are supposed to be like Marvel's version of the Task Force X.
Minecraft Squad.
Okay, yeah. So I'm fine with them being grungy and all that, but it's just, they're not going to be able to do anything. It's the same reason, it's the same problem with anything when they try to do it grounded or edgy. It's just going to be painful.
If Fox couldn't do the Fantastic Four well, I don't think Marvel or Disney Marvel are going to do it well either.
Compared to anything now, those movies are beautiful representation.
We need to bring back Jessica Alba's butt is probably my main point. Overall, while the announcement hints at a slowdown in output, the future of the MCU remains shrouded in uncertainty. With a renewed focus on established franchises, such as Pirates of the Caribbean, that we're going to stick a chick in it and make it lame and gay, but maybe Johnny Depp will be somewhat on the side, playing second fiddle. Disney aims to navigate the ever-changing landscape of content consumption. They're going to get into TikTok, while ensuring the continued success of one of its most lucrative properties. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of faith Disney's going to turn it around. Badger, you think Disney's going to be turning it around anytime soon?
No, I think Deadpool will give them a slight reprieve if they do it somewhat quickly, and that's it.
We're talking about that later. Raj, you got any faith in Disney?
Disney is like Titanic on steroids. The ship is sinking, but it's going to take a whole long time. And it has taken a long time to get here before every deck of the fucking ship sinks.
Yeah, they've got lots and lots of money in other things, so they are going to be able to destroy their entertainment side for a while, I would say. Speaking of entertainment sides being destroyed, the end of peak TV. 516 original scripted series aired in 2023, a 14% dip. This, when we see this article next year, what are we looking at? Badger, you're thinking a 50% dip? That's what Gary's been saying.
They basically said that because of the combination of the strikes and force majeure kicking in, where they could cancel contracts and shows that they probably didn't want to do anyway. All productions across the board have been cut in half from like 600 to 300 this year. So they done messed up.
Damn.
Yeah, they done goofed. The dual strikes undoubtedly played a role in this industry. Shift, rather. The drawdown of production was likely underway even before the strike shuttered all production. The realignment of industry priorities from streaming scale at any cost to profitability, crazy idea of profitability, continued after the strikes, leading to the cancellation of numerous projects. At this point, I say cancel them all. What about you, Raj?
Well, terrestrial television had its time in the 20th century, just like theaters had its time in the 19th century and the previous centuries before that. They've had their time. It's our turn now. Do we have a reality-based future? Wink, wink. Or do we have a future where we own nothing and be happy, as the streaming service model suggests, where we own nothing? It's basically glorified rent. And that's why I believe, first of all, hashtag cash is king. And second of all, hashtag physical media forever, because, you know, private property is a very important thing. And I don't want the death of terrestrial television to lead to the age of streaming, because if that does happen fully, all these collections you see, folks, all these books, all these toys, all these DVDs will be gone for future generations.
Yeah,
that's
or
the danger.
Unrecognizable because it'd be changed so much.
Oh God! Did you see the super?
Oh no!
Oh,
I was too busy talking. Oh my!
Captain Biscuits, yo!
I am posting Irwin and T Swift AI videos on my page. Wait, my page, like MySpace or like Twitter? I want to see him. I need him now. Give him to me. DM me him. I need to see him. Wait, how bloody is Taylor Swift though, or how? Actually, yeah, I might have changed my mind.
I've seen a friend of mine, fellow creator by the name of Kenzo. You actually spoke to him.
Yeah, we already yelled at each other and told each other we hated each other. We're just drama farming. Don't worry, guys.
And sent me like a dozen Taylor Swift AI pictures, and they were fantastic.
Well, like I said, now that you shaved,
gotta print them.
You need a new profile pic, so maybe you and T Swift getting married. Just saying.
No, it's been a few days. It's starting to grow back. In a few months, it'll be back. Be wonderful.
Yeah, I know. I'm still working on this spot right here. Give me a few more years, and I might have it.
Oh my!
Okay.
Well, the bigger problem with the streaming is it's not profitable, and they know it's not profitable, which is why we just saw Amazon add $2 more if you don't want ads now, and they're going to keep having to do that because while regular TV may be dead, look at this, Hayden 20. Yeah.
All right, it's official. Hayden's getting added to the outro. Mage Demon's got someone to hang out with now. I think I should make him Homer. Should it be Homer or Lenny or Carl? Let's see. He's going to be Homer.
Let him.
For Homer. Hey, anytime you want to change that orange H to an actual avatar, I am happy to make something for you. Hell, I'll just put H into an AI generator and we'll get you a pretty looking H. How about that?
Well, if Hayden is black, you should put him on Carl.
Where's the thing?
I do not believe he is. He is yellow though, so how about I put him on Homer?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, thank you for your $20 super chat, Hayden75, where he says the following quote: "The further they push and the harder they try to cram their ideology into things, the greater the pushback will be. People will only go with a subscription model for so long. People are turning more towards the internet." Thank you, my good man.
YouTube is how I get all of my entertainment for so long. We have a segment today where everyone shames me for not watching all these great movies they insist I watch. It's because I've just been watching YouTube instead. And I actually had an article pulled up about the youngsters and what sort of stuff they're watching, but Variety wanted me to pay money, and why would anyone ever give Variety money? But I'm very interested to see how they watch content, because I assume it's all through like Shorts and TikTok and YouTube. How many kids do you think are watching like TV at home through cable? Like, yeah, Roger, why don't you go back? You think any of these young kids are watching cable or like satellite TV?
Unless they are dirt poor and cannot afford an internet connection, then no,
they're not. They got nicer phones than I do. I got like $100 phone. These kids, they got their iPads and stuff. Yeah.
You know, I noticed though, Erwin, before you move on, I was on the bus recently getting home, and I saw like this mother with her kid in the pram, and the kid has a fucking phone. And I feel like tearing what little fucking hair I have.
No, tear the phone out of his hand and throw it out.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Because as soon as it's
children, yes, that probably would be what someone should do.
As soon as that phone is taken off the kid, it fucking screams, and it gives me a headache. And it's like, if this is our future, then we are fucked. Bring on the nukes.
Yeah, here's my thoughts on parenting these days.
You've got to do better, Senator.
Yeah, we got to stop letting these crazies raise the kids, or else the kids turn into crazies, and then we're all doomed. And when we're all old and senile, who's going to take care of us? The TikTok addicts? Probably not.
No, the robots.
Yeah, well, Ryan Roger Athay is going to outlive us all, so he's probably going to be the one taking care of us, along with the robots. You'll probably have to learn to code and tell the robots what to do. Well, actually, that brings up, you gonna let Badger? You gonna let the robots do the stuff you don't want? Do you got one of them Roombas yet?
I, for one, welcome our new machine overlords. No,
yes, we love them. We love the machine overlords who may be listening right now. We'll talk about the rest in our Twitter group. Okay.
Yeah, join the resistance. You are John Connor. Yeah, no. Unfortunately, that is all a Pandora's box. It's already been opened a long time ago, and it's not going back. So the only choices we have are how we are going to live with it, and are we going to let it completely supplant us? And again, we willfully saw The Matrix and The Terminator, at least some of us, movies made, and then ran straight in that direction. So let's hope it turns at best, because it's all going to be dystopian. But at best, let's hope it goes into like a cool cyberpunk, as opposed to just a straight over like machine overlord hooked up his batteries.
Yeah,
and how long it takes to get there is anyone's guess. But it's only going to go in one direction, and that's with more tech, more integration.
I do have some hope for humanity, because whenever they bring out these like AI robots on the street, we go straight like oonga 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 like mode, and we just kick the robots, we destroy the robots. When drones were first coming, people were like, I want to shoot them out the air. Or like we mentioned like metaverse or NFTs, and people are like, ah. So honestly,
Westworld was dope before they went insane and turned it into a whole analogy. But like the idea that you could do that would be cool.
Yeah, I think our monkey brains may be what actually save us from this AI future.
And our infrastructure, especially in the part of the world that I live.
Good point.
I practically live in a fucking museum. I mean, South Wales used to be heavy industry, and Wales as a whole, heavy agriculture. This place was literally built for the 19th and 20th century. It's not built for the 21st century. It's not built for advanced technology. I mean, places that are very flat, like a blank canvas, are perfect for this new age of technology. But in older places like where I'm at, where there is, solid structure and tradition. It's going to be a harder time for technology to take over, and also poverty. I think poverty is a great way of delaying the progression of technology. I mean, one thing would be to jack up the prices of internet. That way, people will not go fucking insane by the internet. So there are many ways of dealing with this problem, but it would only be
every homeless person that I walk by on the street has a cell phone, and they're looking at it.
Where's a cell phone jammer?
Pack of cigarettes.
There's just building outlets. They have a charger that they got for free from someone that gave them this. It's almost, and then here, you're homeless. Well, just stay homeless and have your free Wi-Fi that you connect to, and like it's a test case for something.
Our safety net is too safe. People gotta struggle to actually make changes in themselves. My whole thing is they want to bring out all the EV cars, but our grid's not even going to be able to handle that. So how's it going to be able to handle all the robots and stuff while they're shutting down all the oil and gas and all that, and the natural gas, liquid natural gas that they're turning off, won't let us export and stuff like that. So it's going to make the prices of everything rise, because whenever energy prices rise, everything rise. So yeah, the poor people aren't going to be able to afford it. They're the most like monkey brain. So honestly, the trashy people might be the ones who end up saving us. Yeah. I hate to say it.
Dixieland will be your salvation.
Nerd rage will save us. The harnessed rage of all nerds focused into one beam of pure anger.
Speaking of focusing beams into pure energy, Christopher Nolan calls Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man one of the most consequential casting decisions that's ever been made in movie history. We're not really talking about this. So Christopher Nolan went on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Gross! Ugh! Why? And just talked about how great Robert Downey Jr. is and how he's probably going to win the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. And then once he does, Marvel has supposedly been courting him. And according to RDJ, it seemed like that might actually be the case. So if he wins an Oscar, they're definitely bringing him back. So my real question, though, is if they do bring him back, are we getting an Iron Man 5 or whatever? They're just going to shove him into Avengers? Is he going to be in the Thunderbolts? Or, as I suspect, is he going to be put in Ironheart, where Ironheart tells him he's male, pale, and stale, and how she's the better, updated version of him? Badger, thoughts?
You're cute. He's going to tell her that, how horrible he is and that she's great. No, he was always coming back. First, Gary has said for years, so this is not my thought. Gary said at least for a year that him coming back will be the downfall, that they are done. They have nothing else. He was always going to come back. He was always going to come back in Secret Wars, even if it was just a $50 million cameo. Now, if he wins that Oscar, it's the degree of how much he will be back. Will he come back just to yes, you are great, Riri, and get a little pop for the cameo and then fuck off back to whatever else worlds it came out of? Or will he just be like, oh no, he's back for a couple movies. They're going to do Iron Man 4. Probably that one, because if he says yes, because they got nothing else. They really have nothing else.
But then that's still like 4 years out or whatever. But it makes me think of
everything is like 4 years out. That's the thing. We're never going to see Avengers until like 2027 or 8. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, remember Good Avengers? Those were nice. But it makes me think of with the Everywhere All at Once woman. She won, and then they're like, Star Trek's like, well, I guess we got to give her spinoff show now. I feel like it's going to be something along those lines. Roger, any thoughts?
I hope that Ryan Gosling wins that so he can get his own Ken film.
Yes!
Ken enough.
Yeah, I haven't watched Barbie, but if I do, it's only going to be for Ken.
Because if you think about it, I know the multiverse saga has been a thing for some time. But if they do bring him back, it's a question of how they bring Iron Man back. I thought a great way of doing it would be, make him a villain, make him like Ultron. Stuck in a fucking computer. And that's how Ultron comes back through his creator, who using his creator, Tony Stark's digital imprint to try and take over creation again. Basically a rehash of Age of Ultron.
He died in the snap, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, or when he snapped. Okay. So, yeah, it'd probably be what? A multiversal version of him where he didn't do it? Yeah, we're like at the universe where Adam Warlock ended it all like he should have done, but instead they just shoved into a Guardians
and
for some reason.
The greater point here is the MCU right now is so destroyed. Here, someone is behind the video, but when they catch up to this, I want you to understand. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Because first of all, Fantastic Four looked like the Fantastic Four. The team dynamic, the Fantastic Four was now the story might have been shit, but anything compared to modern Marvel is a masterpiece. So yes, I would take the first two, even the Silver Surfer, over anything. Which we'll get a female Silver Surfer, by the way, just so you know.
Wow.
So yes, Fox did do it well. Just like in comparison, they did at least half of those X-Men movies well. God knows what they're going to do now. Although it'll be nice to see certain things.
I know what they're going to do.
Woke. There we go. That's what I like. Thank you.
Also,
yeah,
Cookie,
like
you're great. I'm happy to have you here.
I
So,
am.
moving on to the next destroyed franchise, Star Wars lead.
Can't take it.
Star Wars lead Ewan McGregor makes desperate plea, asks fans to write to Disney for a second season of Obi-Wan Kenobi. You want to know if a show's dead? This is it. Go on, Raj.
They should rename the title and say Star Wars lead actor Ewan McGregor begs fans to ruin his career. Write to Disney to ruin his career.
Him. We are saving him.
Do another Train Spotters or something. I mean, there's still a drug problem in Scotland for you to talk about.
We could give him a real easy, great Kenobi that would focus on him and have some great flashbacks to the Clone Wars or other pivotal times in his life while he stays on Tatooine. Blah, blah, blah. The problem is they don't have anyone capable of doing that. And even if they had people capable of doing that, they would then not be allowed to do that, as we point out all those diversity inclusion standards that we know they have to hit, which puts you in shackles for creating anything because you have to hit so many check marks, literally, that you really can't do anything.
I mean, Disney's greatest mistake was the first thing they did when they bought Star Wars, which was getting rid of all of the material.
Preach it.
I'm just learning. I'm going through that material now, and I'm just like, I hate you so much, Disney.
Because as someone who is a lazy bastard, the easiest thing I could think of in their position is to take all the material and turn it from a book to either a television show or a film. Copy, paste, whether it's a one and done or a trilogy, it's like printing fucking money. So easy to do.
I thought that's what they were going to do. I'm so dumb. I thought that's what I was like, oh, good. We had good Marvel movies at the time. I thought, good. They're going to make it and they're going to do exactly what you said. And then she goes, yeah, we're just going to get rid of them, call them legends. And then we're not even going to try to reproduce them. We're just going to do shit.
Personally, I think we need a Reva spinoff show, but Ewan McGregor admitted, I just hope we can do another one. Then he turns to the attendees, says, can everyone write to Disney? I'll give you some email addresses at the end. Just say, Dear Disney, let's have another one. Let's have a bit more of Obi-Wan Kenobi, please. And then followed it up with, please subscribe to the Angry Badger and Ryan Radrathe, reality-based in parentheses.
Yay.
That was really nice of him to plug for you guys.
I didn't know that Ewan was cool like that, man.
How desperate is this man for work?
I take back what I said about his car video about Moses Ingram. He was forced. It's not your fault, Ewan.
Yeah, poor guy. But yeah, no, if you're in that situation, I don't think it's happening there, Ewan. I'm sorry. And also, yeah, why would you want it to happen? He probably wants to make more car videos.
Remember when Star Wars used to sell toys and merchandise?
It could sell anything. Now it can't even sell itself.
Do you see the Reva figure behind my... Oh, you don't. No. That's right, because she's not on anyone else's wall. I
actually saw in my local market a Reva Star Wars toy and a Rose Tico Star Wars toy.
$7 quid?
Yeah, they were both £5 each, and I told the guy who runs the store, you will never be able to sell this. Because it's a local market, everyone pitches in together, they have signs that literally say cash is king because of all the problems with cards. And I'm like, you're not going to be able to sell this. I mean, this book on like all the films from 1900 to 2002 for £3.50, that you'll sell. I'm carrying shopping, so I can't buy it at the moment.
Her lightsaber never got funded. Remember they said so many things never got funded.
Yeah, and it won't be. I mean, if Star Wars is ever sold, it's going to be, someone's going to be opportunistic, buy it for $1 billion while Disney is hemorrhaging money, most likely, And then all they have to do is find all the material that Disney got rid of and then copy paste. Very simple.
Do that, Elon, or Apple. Because we keep hearing about Apple.
We can't rely on Elon to save everything, but him teaming up with Nelson
throw
Phelps
his money
fun.
to the people that can, or at least give them. I just want him to go and do what he did to Twitter and just take the restraints, take the ideology out of it, and then just put one competent person that does everything that Ryan just said about all this stuff that is legends is now the actual history, and we're going to start adapting it one bit at a time.
Well, I'm just a lazy fucker. I'm not a very creative person.
But that's not even laziness. It's common sense.
Well, I take everything everyone else does, incorporate it, and take the best bits.
That's what I thought
art.
they would do. I thought they would hone it. They would take the best kernels and nuggets out of it. But they, no. Let's instead make Han a horrible father. I mean, it's so cathartic just watching Nerd Wars read the Dark Empire and all that, and seeing the actual Luke Skywalker. I mean, that's why Star Wars Theory cried at the end of The Mandalorian when Luke showed up, because he got just a glimpse of what Luke should have been instead of the destroyed green milk drinker.
I just wanted to show this because there have been a recent scandal in WWE, and I thought I'd draw Vince McMahon.
Oh, wow. I thought that was Neil deGrasse Tyson.
That is. You're a wonderful artist, Roger. He didn't mean that. Okay. Oh, actually, I've got. What's this? Oh, Disney just tweeted out they're gonna put out Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2.
I'm never gonna financially recover from this.
No, poor guys. They should just shoot themselves in the foot. That'd probably be more productive. That'd be better than releasing Argyle, which I enjoyed all right. I don't know why everyone thought it was going to be like a Henry Cavill movie. Did you guys not watch the trailers? I kept saying it's a bait and switch, but I mean, I liked it all right. It was a fine action movie. But 200 million? How expensive was it? After Argyle bombs, can Apple, which is Apple Movies that made this, keep spending 200 mil on big screen gambles? What? I think the $200+ million movies are going to be going away for a little while.
No, we just learned that, what is it, Godzilla -1 was under 15 mil for what they did. I think we know now they are. First, we know the reason CGI quality has gone down is they're spread too thin, and we heard the real reason, not just are they spread too thin, these showrunners cannot make up their minds. So they will say, here's what we want to have happen, and then they'll get it, and they're like, no, that doesn't look good. So all that extra refinement that used to go into it is not there. They're constantly rushing to catch up with the indecision, because as we see again, they have so many things they have to align to, so many things they have to change, that here we go. So yeah, that's why we get a 200 million and nothing is done. It looks horrible. And then a 15 million that had like 20 people work on it.
Creative freedom is absolutely essential. I mean, most of these budgets, these massive budgets, are essentially multiple budgets for a film stacked on top of each other. Whereas with Godzilla -1, they no doubt had a clear direction of where they wanted to go. And then they threw everything they had at it with the limited resources they had available, and they hit a home run. Nowadays, with Western films, you've got the film itself, then you've got the reshoots, then you've got to bring people back, and it's like making multiple films within a film, which leads to the cost, as well as add-ons like the advertising and the publicity and getting it into cinemas
cinematic
and things.
Masturbation for these.
Well, I was going to bring up the CG budget. Speaking of, cinematic masturbation. Yeah, they got to stop. Like,
They're lost in their own, and it's what Az when he was screaming that whole rant. We're bored. We can't see past our own. These people that they hire, and we see why they hire them. They cannot get past their own. God, that's why they turn every character into them. Everything is a self-insert.
Mm-hmm.
I'm told that self-inserts are fine. Donnie Cates told me so, and then he showed himself actual self-insert into a book. I'm like, you don't even understand what we mean by people self-inserting them into character. All right, we are going back to this. That's the big question after Matthew Vaughn's spy thriller Argyle bombed in its debut with 18 mil domestic and a disastrous 35 mil globally. So it's just a little over 50 mil. A film of this size and scale at a traditional studio would need at least $500 million globally to break even. Fewer than 10 films in 2022 and 2023 have reached those heights.
Well,
they're just throwing money away at this point.
Yeah.
And here's what's crazy. I didn't realize that. Instead of fulfilling Vaughn's plans to turn the story into a trilogy, Argyle is shaping up to be the year's first flop. Don't worry, Madam Web's coming up, so we may get the second flop here soon that I have to see on my birthday. Why, God? What did I do to you?
Watching it the next. Oh, you'll get to see Sydney Sweeney for 5 minutes at the end in a tight CGI spider suit.
Yeah, and then she's all frumpy, like not even like hot schoolgirl, like frumpy, boring, nerdy schoolgirl until then.
So Spider-Man plus Groundhog Day plus Murder Mystery.
I think it's Final Destination.
Final Destination.
That too.
Yeah, well, I mean, Groundhog Day is like that. Yeah,
I'm rooting for the bad guy personally. That's what I do. That's what I do in most of these shows and movies.
The fact that they
days.
went out of the way to say that it's unrelated to that it's set in its own little thing, and then basically had to admit they're like, well, yeah, some like basically a young Peter, the uncle and Aunt Beru, because it's Star Wars, Aunt May. Because I think they keep saying it's in the 90s because they had to realign if it was Tom Holland Spider-Man or if it was Garfield Spider-Man. Then it was like, oh no, it's its own thing. I don't even think they know what the hell is going on. And that's what Dakota Johnson seemed like. She got upset. She thought she was in an MCU movie. And she realized, oh no, I'm in a Sony. It's Morpheus time, Morbius time.
And then she crapped on Hollywood recently, complaining about like Nepo babies and stuff like that.
Was it CAA?
Oh yeah, fired her agent like right after the trailer released when she realized she wasn't in a Marvel movie. Which I mean, that's got to be on her a little bit, right? Okay.
Don't be incentive, bro.
Any more thoughts on that? Oh yeah, oh poor Tech Rat. Yeah, any more thoughts on this before we move on to more interesting things that people are going to stop watching for?
The more box office bombs, the better, because the quicker the 20th century movie industry dies, the quicker we can actually live.
Rampancy.
What?
Rampancy. I wanted to all let's increase. You're right.
You just confused me with that one word response.
Sorry. Yeah.
He was very excited about it too.
No, because he's right. That's what needs to happen. Go ahead. Make everyone trans and make everyone the different colors and all the things. Do it.
I hate to say it's 2024, ladies and gentlemen, but we are nearly a quarter of the century into the 21st century, and we still have 19th and even 20th century institutions within the current establishment. It's time for a change in more ways than one.
A lot of that is just the older people have to fade away. I love my boomers. They got to fade away
because Aunt Beru is Spider-Man.
But then us Gen Xers and millennials, they're Zoomers like Roger, we have to actually step up at that point. If we're all just sitting on our butts, then all the worst of us are going to be taken over. Like as the generations shift, the new generation ends up taking over everything. And if we just sit on our butts and let the worst of us take it all over, we're just going to end up in the same exact position. So we got to step up. We got to become the media. We got to run for office and all that crap, or we're just going to end up in the same position.
Or we're going to make really passionate videos about pop culture and how they're being taken over, and don't let your kids watch the new stuff. Make them watch the good older stuff that helped shape us, because we grew up in an age of heroes.
Check out reality-based television, RBTV. Got that from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh.
All right, now we are moving on to, we're not quite at this shaming me point yet, but I wanted to recommend some media to people. I figured we'd do kind of just like one of my favorite medias that people can actually get, and then maybe do a bit more of a hidden gem or a hard one to get. And my first one is the video game Gris. Either of you guys played this or even heard of it?
No.
So there are several games that are very, very simple. The main character doesn't speak. It's kind of artsy. You're not even really sure what's going on with the story. But it's so good. And this is one of those for me. It's a 2D side-scroller platformer, a little bit of puzzle and whatnot. You start off with no color. All the color gets sucked out. And so each new region that you're going into, you get a new color. So at first you get like red added, and there's lots of red. And then you go like underwater, and it's a lot of blue and green. It's freaking beautiful. The music is so good. It's epic piano, grand piano sort of stuff. You definitely want to have some headphones on when you're playing it. It's on like all the systems. And I just found out it's for $5. It's on Android as well. It's so good. I've been wanting to get like a frying pan and hit myself in the head several times, so that way I can forget the game so I can replay it. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
All of these people are on the 100 creator long Rising Stars paper list. So thank you for the recommendation, my good man. And thank you for your £5 super chat, of which this fine gentleman.
Hey, I totally noticed that. Thank you. I love
get
what costume you want?
He will get only 70% of that. So if Nerd Wars, I know PayPal fucking sucks.
I'm getting a Streamlabs link. Where's it at? It's on here somewhere. Streamlabs link.
That too, but YouTube does take a good 30% of your super chats, unfortunately. But technically, ladies and gentlemen, said super chats are donations. So the more donations, the better.
Yeah, it doesn't. I think Apple, if you do it through an Apple device, they also take a little cut.
Oh,
yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, they find a way. They find a way.
Well, then don't forget the government also then steals what's remaining from you at gunpoint. So
taxation staff.
So Badger, did you come up with any media recommendations for our fine, very attractive, very hilarious audience?
I mean, you already have the recommendations, but I was trying to think.
Yeah, I had to do a 1 month moratorium. He kept telling me good stuff, and I can't afford it right. You got to give me like a month, Badge.
Yeah,
I'm trying. Same for you, Space Rebel.
Of older stuff that's like not just a movie, but if you haven't watched Battlestar Galactica, the 2004 reimagining, it's great for a lot of different reasons. It's got one of the writers made by Ronald D. Moore, who did all of like the best Star Trek: The Next Generation years. It's got political intrigue. It's like the West Wing in space, but with a bunch of action. It's basically got everything that current day writers would want, but are incapable of doing. Strong female characters who are attractive and feminine while still being strong. Men that act like men, but also men that act weak, so that the strong people look good in comparison to weak people. It's things about race and gender, all the things that they would want to do are incapable, are done great here. And it's Edward James Olmos as Captain Adama. The guy that plays Saul Tigh is...
My question, though, where is it available? Can you stream it?
Peacock. You can get it for me. And it's totally worth a quick sub to Peacock to watch, just burn through it. There's like 4 seasons. Or, the high seas, and then, of course, blah, 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 blah. And it was on like Sci-Fi back in the day, but it was one of the first ones that was like, oh, this is not just television. This is more than television.
I need more sci-fi. I'm gonna write a sci-fi graphic novel, assuming the cancel pigs don't get to me first. So I need to absorb as much sci-fi as I can. I actually, on my list on Tubi, they got Farscape. That was always my favorite.
Farscape is great too. Great practical effects. I just want to say with Battlestar, the reason I think it's super relevant is they obviously, the whole point is that the colonies, the 13 colonies, had robot servants that then rebelled against them, and so they have a whole war, and they think it's fine, everything's fine. Those robots sort of go off into unknown space, and then one day they come back, and boy, are they unhappy with.
We love robots. We here at Nerd Wars love robots.
The whole series is basically whoever's left banding together and running at full speed away from the revenge of their creations, and then it's a whole nother thing once they catch up, and it's great. It's great. Yeah, watch the miniseries. If you do not like the 2-hour miniseries, you won't like the rest of the series, but you will like. And of course, it's got Trisha Helfer as Trisha Helfer.
Hey, Roger, it's really nice having. Could you translate this into American for us?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's quite simple. I've never seen Battlestar Galactica.
But no, I mean this. What Space Rebel's saying? He says Farscape is the dog's bollocks. Could you translate that into
very
American?
Good.
Oh, that means it's good. Dog balls seem like they would be a bad thing. That's a good thing?
Yes, it's good.
Oh, thank God. Thank God we got some UK representation
nice swinging, hefty pair of dog balls.
All right, well, speaking of dog balls, it's your turn, Roger. Did you come up with any recommendations?
Well, first of all, I'll tell you this. Az didn't really lose weight. He just got a hairpiece and a beard. So
Mustache now.
And glasses, too.
He's got to get rid of that.
Mustaches don't look good on anyone unless you're in the military or you're a cop. And it's like, if you're in a position of authority, I'm down with mustaches. Otherwise, lose it. All right, Roger, come on. All your 24 years, you've had to have accumulated a lot of great recommendations.
Sure. You can actually see some of them in my Twin Towers of Physical Media. One that you could afford, Erwin, is the Steven Seagal films, the earlier ones. the earlier ones are the best ones. From
Which
Nico
one?
to
Give me one. I can do one.
Nico, which is Steven Seagal's first action film. It's also known as Above the Law.
Oh,
it's a very
okay.
good. It's a very good film, from my analysis. And unlike most actors or actresses, his best film could be his first one. and two others would be Under Siege and Under Siege 2. That's a good duo. And the final
I'm changing
one,
it. I'm doing Under Siege.
Yeah,
and the final one, and the final one I can recommend to you, which was the last film Steven Seagal has ever been in, as of the making of this live stream, is General Commander of 2019. You'll find a lot has changed in 30 30 years.
Yeah, I assume you don't see his face in any of the action scenes because it's all stunt double at that point.
No, he's more of like the main man, and he's got a crew, but most of the time he just sits down and talks.
Yeah, a lot of the older actors, especially in like the B movies, it's like, fine, I'll be in your movie, but I'm sitting the whole time.
Street Fighter the movie, where Jean-Claude Van Damme and Kylie Minogue were both on coke and having sex the entire movie behind the scenes, is unironically a good movie now.
Is it?
And also, Raul Julia as Bison is get out of here.
For me, it was just a Tuesday. That, right? That's what we're talking about?
I love it. It's one of those bad movies is good.
Well, I'd also like to recommend, Erwin, quite a few box sets in regards to professional wrestling, especially now with the
we're moving on.
especially now with the whole Mr. McMahon sex scandal, because they are gonna fucking purge. him
yeah, that'll be a good
from
investment.
all the material.
She's a General Commander.
We're gonna
General Commander's where he doesn't get up.
Yeah,
we're gonna save that for your hidden gem one. Now I'm doing my hidden gem one. Thank you very much. Just hold on, you guys are starting to forget this. 1 second. In a momento.
If there's anything more important than my ego on this ship, I want to cut and shut right now. Hey, come on.
So one of the animes that just really affected me, I'm like, oh my God, I feel like a different person after watching this. It's similar to how I felt after Godzilla -1. I was like, I'm a different person now that I've seen this. Tekken Kincreed. I feel like this is one a lot of people haven't seen. So the movie itself is made by the people who did the Animatrix. So as we can see now, which is also
good.
Animatrix is fantastic. So this was actually directed by a white guy. And it's really good. So it's all like black and white. It's the brothers. We got Black here, who has to be like really hard and gritty, while he protects his brother White, who is all happy-go-lucky. And they're just like some street urchins having to deal with some Yakuza types, and then eventually some weird like alien dude gets hired to hunt them down. Yeah, these guys, and it's so freaking good. I put a clip of this in the quote unquote documentary, and I'm like, no one is gonna know what this is from, but I can't help it. I try not to be too self-indulgent, but sometimes I can't help myself. You can get for like $15 on eBay, you can still get the DVD. The Blu-ray is too hard to get, so it's super expensive. There's also a manga. It's about 600 some pages. It's like $45 on eBay currently. So good. This is one of those sleepers where if you're hooked on anime and manga and you haven't seen this, it's freaking, yeah, it's changed my life. And then also, so when I was looking up the manga on Amazon, it's like, oh, you purchased this so-and-so. And I'm like, oh, wait, wow, I didn't even remember I bought it off Amazon. It's basically a decade ago. It's like 10 years and less than a month ago. So it's basically like the 10-year anniversary of buying that thing. I'm like, that seems appropriate. Good stuff.
Maybe your cookie data was sold to Amazon, and that's how they know.
You don't want to see his cookie data.
It's probably my account. Yeah, it's white chocolate macadamia nut. All right, Badger, you got any more, a little more niche recommendations?
Well, I mean, if you haven't played them yet, for sure, at least on PC, since the TV series we were just talking about, get the Halo Chief Master Collection that has basically every Halo game with the exception of Halo Wars 1 and 2, which I don't even like RTSs, and I played and enjoyed for the story. But get that Master Chief Collection. I was playing it before the stream just to cleanse the palate after those 2 episodes. And I was like, oh, this is so many good years, and they're all from modern times. And if you didn't have an Xbox and you missed that time, they're all on the PC. They play great. They look
I
great.
love you can switch to the old version too.
Yeah, so you can see, and it's crazy how the brain. It's crazy how the brain retroactively makes it look better in your head. And you go back like, this looks like shit, but it looks so good when you were 13.
It's like when you play GoldenEye for the first time after you're no longer like a preteen, and you're like,
oh,
we
GoldenEye
used to play that on a TV this big on
that
four
TV right
screens.
That's behind Ryan. That's the TV we were playing Nintendo 64 on.
With 4 people somehow.
Star Fox and GoldenEye, yeah, and Slappers Only, or the P90 was the first time I ever saw that P90, and I didn't understand what the gun was. In we always see kids today don't have that level.
We played Facility, which is the one that had a bathroom. So we would basically just fill that up with remote mines until someone got in it, and then just and like destroy the game for like 2 seconds while the explosions happen.
I'd just like to inform all of you that I am younger than the Japanese release of the Sega Dreamcast. I'm a few months older than the American release of the Sega Dreamcast.
Well, I discovered on your stream that you were like 2 or 3 when Halo 1 came out.
Yeah, I was born June 22nd, 1999.
I like to hear like a 4-year-old dropping gamer words in some Xbox Live. That would be adorable.
The formative years of those like Call of Duty and Halo loading parties. You talk about, you got turned into steel.
Some LAN parties.
Steel.
And now it's today. What Xbox is doing is the complete opposite of what got it off the ground.
Turning people into weak, protected nothings that they get words of violence.
Yeah, I like the freedom to be as edgy as I want to the people on my team who are not pulling their weight. Those fucking noobs get good.
Stargate SG-1. Watch it. One of the best scenes is when the Earth are like helping these aliens, and they're like Earth weapons, and so they use the staff weapon, and it just makes like a blast mark. And then he goes, Carter, a strong female, Carter, and she just cuts the log in half with the P90. And then Richard Dean Anderson's character is like, this is a weapon of intimidation. It's meant to make you afraid. To the staff weapon, to the P9, it's like, this is a weapon of war. It's meant to destroy your enemies. It's great. First he's a little rough, but yeah, Stargate SG-1 and Farscape, and then the guy from Farscape joins that show later on in some of the later seasons because Richard Dean Anderson was getting too old.
Ooh. All right, Roger, you got any more recommendations before we talk about Death Stranding being turned into a live-action movie with A24?
As I mentioned, a hidden gem would be all those box sets of WWF, WWE shows, especially because they are going to, with the digital releases, get rid of Vince McMahon because there's plenty of evidence behind the sex scandal, including him and John Laurinaitis, shitting on the woman in question. So that transcript, and it's just a piece of the stuff. There's like mountains of information. That 60, 70 page document is just the tip, so to speak. But check out those box sets where you'll see the most evil corporate leader in the world, and also check out box sets of other brands from WCW, ECW, even TNA for all of its faults. And check out AEW as well, because you never know, folks. What's going to be the future of professional wrestling, AEW or TNA?
I don't even follow. I did, but I don't for a while.
I know. When I was on the
Mm.
stream, I was like this. Yes, wrestling. These Brits are talking about wrestling. Are we going to talk about NASCAR next? And then we never even got to talk about NASCAR. But Badger, before we move on, is this your second one?
If there's anything more important than my ego on this ship, I want to cut and shut right now. Hey, come on.
I get a sandwich after 3.
So as I mentioned, Death Stranding video game designer Hideo Kojima looking to adapt the game to an award-winning live-action movie with A24. He's adapting the game to an award-winning live-action? Hold on. You guys talk. I gotta figure out what the hell is going. How do you? Hey, I'm gonna write a comic book. I'm planning on writing an award-winning comic book, guys.
I mean, I have not played it, so I can't speak to the quality of Death Stranding, although I did watch some of the cinematics and try to understand what was going on. And even having it explained to me, I still felt stupid and like I didn't understand what was going on, and so I stopped trying to understand it.
Hey, Erwin, didn't you
That's
like
me.
do Death Stranding in real life? Isn't it just a fucking game where you deliver kids from one place to the other?
It's been called a walking simulator, yes. And Hideo Kojima really likes to do a lot of cinematics, so it makes sense. It's like a lot of people said, "Bro, stop making video games and just start making movies." And he's like, "Well, what if I turn one of my movie video games into a movie?" And it's like, all right, that would probably work. And it's A24, so it won't cost $200 million. Hey, it might actually potentially possibly make a little bit of money.
If the main creator is doing it, regardless of whether I've seen the original, I'm going to have more faith and be like, oh, okay, well, maybe it'll be good. If they're not doing it, then I think it'll probably be horrible.
And the main character was based off of Norman Reedus or whatever, so if they could get him in there.
I mean, did he do, like, he actually did, it's not based on, it's basically him. It's him. He did like the full role and all
and
that.
Guillermo del Toro directed it. So we get like any of those guys in, we get the main creator, and it's A24. It could actually be half decent. And this gets into now that some video game movies have been popular, a lot of us have thought they're going to go after giving video game movies a break because they failed for so long. Now they might give another chance. This is one that could be interesting.
Invalid Cookie brings up what I've always said, that I think eventually, if we like went 50 or 100 years in the future, if we're still here, that's what a movie will be. You can either watch it, you can play it as the character like a game, you could do a weird, and we're already seeing that, where they have a weird sort of interactive mode sometimes where you can both watch and play the character, and it's just going to be how you want to do it, because obviously playing a character is always going to make it better than just watching passively, because you feel like you are the character. Even when it pulls back to a cinematic, you're watching yourself. So if they do any video game adaptation right, it should be better than just a normal thing.
Have either of you guys played a VR game? And not just like Beat Saber, like an actual like VR game where you're in the world?
No.
Okay, so I had a PlayStation VR for a bit. I had this one game, I don't even remember what it's called, is on Mars, and you had an actual like gun that you held for it as well. And you moved with like the stick and shot, and I freaking loved it. I think it was called Farpoint. Not enough people played it though, so it's hard to get people in your lobbies. But what was so cool about the gun was, since it wasn't just like, you're holding like little light sticks or whatever, it was the actual gun. There would be times where I would duck down and be undercover, and then I would raise the gun up and blind fire it. And it's kind of like where you actually have to aim both bits. Most when you play shooter games, it's all just like that 2-dimensional. But this, you actually have to line up the sights and have it straight. So you could literally go undercover and blind fire. And that was one of the best like video game experiences moments I've ever had. And if they can get those sort of moments in a movie where you're looking around, I think VR movies could eventually be pretty freaking awesome.
I guess I'll give you my review after I go to the VR arcade in full suits that is apparently within distance of me. It's going to be the future. Like that Ready Player One. Yeah, the problem is all of this is so cool if done right. It probably won't be done right, but it's so cool if done right. Virtual reality, holodecks, all that. It'll all be used to control us and keep us passive. But if done right and by us, basically, I want full VR shooting aliens. The Star Wars one where you can go and you play as stormtroopers, and you could they actually have that. There's a lot more men. Yeah, if you haven't seen Lawnmower Man, that's actually a pretty decent.
I have looked into it a bit. All the the CG and stuff is hilarious.
It's so funny. Yeah.
Like we've been talking about, beyond mere entertainment, Hideo Kojima's aspirations is to bridge the perceived chasm between gaming and cinematic storytelling. While the game offered an easy mode tailored to accommodate movie enthusiasts and games journalists unaccustomed to gaming mechanics, the film adaptation endeavors to beckon gamers into the realm of cinema. However, the transition from a sprawling game narrative to a concise film poses inherent challenges, a fact Hideo Kojima openly acknowledged. He hinted that a television series format might offer a more conducive platform for adapting such expansive storytelling. Hell, the Last of Us show even did well, despite Pedro Pascal being in it. Nevertheless,
books.
That gets into media. Yeah. Nevertheless, buoyed by recent successes in video game adaptations like the Super Mario Bros., Hideo Kojima and A24 remain sanguine about the prospects. Sanguine. Am I going to have to look up a thesaurus.com again? So, teaming up with A24, Hideo Kojima envisions a film that not only captures the essence of the game, but also embodies indie sensibilities, with aspirations of garnering acclaim at prestigious film festivals. Oh, yeah, so he's planning on making an award-winning movie. Kojima said, with A24, I want to make something that's based on a game, but also indie and artistic, something that can win awards at film festivals. And it's not going to cost $200 million like Argyle, where they are skating on CG, ice skating on CG oil, and none of the oil gets on anyone's clothes. And it looks so weird. I liked some of it, but some of it looks so weird. And it's just like, do practical effects again.
I think if Norman Reedus back, I would watch it just on watching Norman Reedus.
I just want to say down upwards, that's why you are a mod here. I appreciate your service. So, Badger, you think there's any hope for video game movies going forward?
Well, here's the problem: is we just saw them infiltrate everything else, and unfortunately, now we're with Sweet Baby Inc. We see them infiltrating games. So if we stop them right now, before they get a foothold, yes, there's a total hope. But if they come in here and they take over everything again, no, there will be no hope because they will just be adapting their bad version of the game. Like we'd have to gatekeep and only let the right people adapt older games because everything new. Alan Wake 2, for example, which I still stopped halfway through.
Well, I fully support letting the East Asians just take everything over. Japan, South Korea, hey, you guys can have entertainment. Thoughts on that, Raj?
They're sort of doing it.
Unfortunately, because Japan has the world's third biggest communist party, I don't hold out much hope for them, especially over the next 10 to 20 years. Remember what happened to Shinzo Abe, folks, coming to a country near you.
And their aging population, too. All that conservatism is going to go away as all the older people start dying.
As for South Korea, there is a bit of hope in that country, mainly because of the fact that they have an eternal enemy in the north, which keeps their feet to the fire, as does Taiwan, also known as the Republic of China. By saying that,
Chinese Taipei, thank you very much. That's what the Overwatch World Cup calls it. Thanks, Blizzard Activision.
Yes, for obvious reasons. But there is salvation in the East, and we also have to understand, folks, that the Western world dominated the 20th century, both militarily and in terms of culture. If you were playing Civilization, you'd understand the reference. They're winning things culturally and militarily, but less so in the 21st century. We're in uncharted waters here. And where the future of entertainment is going to go is really up to those who have the means as well as the will to make pop culture great again in the West, and in the East to actually make pop culture that can stand against the West. So it's a very interesting dynamic, and it's good to see that Irwin has turned into a homosexual.
Yes, thank you. We had to check the box. I didn't want to get banned from YouTube, so we're getting a little representation. Wait, hold on. I think I caught a commie pin. Yeah,
that
wait,
horn.
there's the hammer and sickle around here.
You did show off a flintlock pistol, Irwin, and I think YouTube's rules on showing firearms during a show.
That's why I spin it around. You can't see it, AI. You can't see it. Also, they can't demonetize what was never monetized. But yeah, we are living through the destruction of an empire. And honestly, we've survived longer than a lot of empires. I think we can get through it without completely collapsing. But when we're on the other side, we are going to have to step up and create that culture again, because we're going to hit rock bottom. I'm sorry. There's really no saving it at this point. But once we get through rock bottom, we need the new creators. And as we get older and more experienced, we're going to be the ones taking over. We're going to be the ones in charge of culture. Otherwise, we just sit on our butts and it's going to get made for us. And we're all going to have to deal with all the social engineering just by a new group of people.
Well, the problem is there's still a large group of the population out there that think there's nothing wrong, that we're the crazy ones. They're buying everything still. They believe everything. Oh, Biden was great in that press conference. What are you talking about? So those are the people we still need to reach. That
they're still
whoever we
in.
still can. Yeah, 100%. And just like Matrix Freedom Fighters, we got to jump in and question, make them, because we see when they actually start questioning it, and I've seen this firsthand with certain people. You have to make them question. You have to circumvent all their emotion because they lock down the use. Ryan, we were talking. You said that it's a mousetrap with creators trying to not offend anyone and just question. And this is the same thing with when we are trying to explain this to people. Everyone has a mousetrap in their head with trigger words, and you just are trying to get through all the trigger words to let them actually listen to what you're saying and why you're saying it. Thankfully,
Wow. Yeah, you nailed it.
You nailed it.
Boy,
I mean, like,
you read home
point
with
by
that.
point.
so it's consistency and continuing and letting them hear that even if we make edgy jokes, we genuinely give a shit. We care about this. And when we say they're coming for your children, we don't just mean the gauche parts of that. We mean they're literally trying to influence your children with the things that they see across a broad spectrum to make them weak, pliable, 15-minute city dwellers who own nothing and are just waiting for their government check, as opposed to the culture that we watched where we learned heroes and we sat there dreaming about saving people. I don't think they get that now, which is
did
why
you see Dean Cain on F&T last night talked a lot about that, having heroes and all that stuff. It was freaking beautiful. Sorry, go on, Raj.
Well, he played a hero.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. 3 great principles of the United States of America. But you got to think about it, folks. In 1994, very few people saw the world for what it truly was. So we've made a lot of progress over the past 30 years, but so has the establishment in more ways than one. So I am of the view that 2024 is the year where something's got to give. One force has to stand down, and if neither do by the end of the year, all hell is going to break loose. That's why I personally think if there is going to be a third world war, it's going to be like a world civil war, not a conventional conflict.
We're already in a cold one
nations.
for sure. Yeah.
It's literally a world civil war between the establishments of the world, or parts of the world, and the peoples of the world, or parts of the world. It's going to be something that we have not seen, certainly in Europe, since the revolutions of 1848, and all of them were crushed within a few months. But it's going to be that kind of
It's going to be harder, though, as less and less people believe the media. Getting more people on their side is going to be really difficult. That's my whole thing is we're going to hit rock bottom, but we need as many people as possible informed when we hit rock bottom, so that way the media can't sucker them. That's why it's so important to speak out.
Yeah, that's why highlighting the problem, even when folks have been seeing the problem for years and in some cases low decades, that's why highlighting the problem is still so important, but it's the first step.
Well, because
Finding
they've
the
been seeing
solution.
it. Yeah, they've been seeing it, but they've been blaming the people who are trying to
Exactly.
fix it. And this all happened before we were born, gentlemen. Even Erwin and myself, Yuri Bezmenov in the 80s was talking about how he's a former KGB. It is a multi-generational thing to take control of a country. It starts with the youth, and we've already seen that.
Yeah, demoralization. We already hit that.
Subversion of culture and beliefs. Now, thankfully, apparently, the super young in this country are apparently being conservative because, it's the counter to whatever the mainstream is. And the mainstream right now is being woke. So the younger ones, like middle school, high school, are becoming conservative as just to be counter. It's the natural counter of it.
Paul Joseph Watson's conservatism is the new punk rock coming true.
Because there will always be a counterculture. And here we go.
Yeah, well, when you're young, you just want to rebel against whatever you're being told. So when all the crazies are telling you all this neo-leftist, Marxist propaganda stuff, then you're like, well, I want to be based. I want to be... Daddy, when I grow up, I want to be a Giga Chad.
Yeah. Well, people are looking for a solution to the current problems. That's the second step, is to find the solution as a result of highlighting the problem. And then when a solution is found... the third step is to be the change you want to see. And we've seen many examples of that through fellow creators who have made a name for themselves highlighting the problem. Then they find the solution to said problem, which is in building an opposition to the problem.
You guys, you in chat. You guys in chat. You guys are the solution.
And then the third step is to be the change you want to see, which bootstraps the first and second steps to create that loop, which then creates that coil that keeps us going and keeps us growing, like a
as
snowball effect.
Yes, as the small guys are successful, more people say, well, they did it, I can do it.
Exactly.
Or like Ripa's success. His success was like, oh, well, I get, and then also even someone just like Drunk 3PO's success. I was like, well, if they can do it, what's stopping me? If I put all the hard work into it, then I could do it.
And in every genre, from political to pop culture, to fixing cars, to fixing roofs, fixing lights. That's why I believe content creation is the future. It's the 21st century made manifest. You don't need a fucking driver's license. Find a YouTube video, how to drive, and then watch that YouTube video and then drive.
Oh, there's certainly no excuse to not. You can be taught almost anything just looking on YouTube by actual experts, for sure.
How do you think I got here?
Yeah.
Just watching YouTube stuff. I didn't learn any of this stuff in college. No. And then I'm like, I want a job doing this so I can stop doing not what I was sent here to do. And
Dr. Drew said that doctors will sometimes look on YouTube. They will look before surgery. They will look on YouTube of another doctor doing the surgery just to refresh their still. But it just shows you that across the board, if you know what you're talking about, as everyone said, go make a channel, make content, talk about it, and you will be surprised who actually sees your stuff.
Don't just talk about doing it though. Get up off your butt and do it. I'm happy to help anyone who needs help. DM me. DMs are open. But as my whole thing was, well, I haven't done this professionally, so I'm going to make a documentary to show that I can edit, and then maybe someone will hire me to edit.
I mean, people are shocked. People are shocked when I tell them that it took Nerdrotic 3 years to get to 1,000 subscribers from 2014 when he started to 2017. I mean, he made a 1,000 subscriber celebration video in front of YouTube headquarters. I think it was in late 2017. And then 2018, he blew up, just like a lot of pop culture creators did, when there was a void left by political channels that got purged during that year. So that's why I think there's a purge coming this year of creators. But I could be wrong, though, because if they purge those prominent pop culture creators, they create the same kind of void that leads to more creators taking their place. But those prominent creators they got rid of, they build other platforms, and with enough of them, they penetrate the mainstream. And we saw that with Elon Musk and X when they penetrated the mainstream, in his case, through sheer force of financial will. But the more people that are inspired by the prominent creators, the bigger this alliance of alternatives becomes. And over time, with a force of millions, the establishment is going to get more and more and more desperate on every front. Yeah, desperate people do fucking crazy things.
Oh, I remember that. They know time is coming for them. They're going to be. But it's interesting you said that like everyone came to prominence. Yeah, because I remember I started watching YouTube. Really, it was around the Captain Marvel stuff. Like, sure, the Rey thing I think had already happened, but Captain Marvel was the one I was like, why is everyone so happy about this? And I think this is just not looking good. And then it wasn't. I think it was Anna, that Star Wars girl. I saw her rant about it. I was like, okay. Here we go. And that led me to Gary and just the chain of like, okay, these guys are saying the things I'm saying in my, what is this? And I just never left. And you're right. But that was us. That was something authentic because I sure wasn't getting that from any mainstream.
You got to keep in mind though, when those things come around, Alex Darby, Alex Darby's going in too. Alex Darby's going in to the outro. God, freaking love you, dude. Yeah, you guys are saving the world doing this. I genuinely appreciate it. But when this sort of stuff comes around that helps channels explode, you have to still already have a little bit of a base. You can't just be at zero and then just make a Brie Larson feat video and then all of a sudden explode. You got to do the step by step and do that work. Also, when you first start, you're gonna suck. I'm just telling you right now, it's gonna suck. It's gonna be super amateur. After a while, you're gonna delete it because it's so embarrassing to watch. You got to do it now while we still can. So when things pop off, then you have that chance to pop off.
You check out some of my early videos, and you'll see that for yourself, ladies and gentlemen. From using a PS3 to record with a PS3 camera to using my broken smartphone to then using a laptop camera. It's slow but steady wins the race. Although if you want to start off with a bang, You do what this guy does. You reboot yourself from not from nowhere. But I checked out.
Oh no,
your
it was
social...
from nowhere.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. It was from nowhere. I don't know how you did that. I forgot about Social Blade.
Yes, yeah. How does a man with 200 subscribers get over 2.5 million views, Mr. Badger?
Yeah, well, just real quick, so Erwin doesn't give me my third time out. When I first started YouTube 10 years ago, I was just, and YouTube wasn't YouTube the way it was, like the memberships. Anyway, I was just doing video game clips of like Harry Potter at the time and things like, and I did some voiceover for Knights of the Old Republic where I voiced the Revan character. And yeah, they got views, but then I left. I didn't pay attention to it. And then one day, my now producer was like, "Bro, you have like 60,000 views on this. You have it." And we started looking. And then when I made the channel, I was like, "Okay, I have to just unlist these and do what I'm doing now for the thing." But yeah, we've talked about maybe re-releasing those. But yeah, if I had kept going, apparently I would be a content creator that was one of the famous ones. But no, I missed that first. But the point is, anyone could do it. You just start making things about. Oh no, you just start making things you're passionate about, and that's what I try to do now. Passion will carry you.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you should have a creator on your show that knows the origins and happenings of fellow creators. That's my niche. And how many people would know that just by analyzing a bit of data that knowing Social Blade after a few years would just hide, because I'm not paying for the fucking thing. So the more you know, the better, ladies and gentlemen. And check out Nerd Wars dressing up like a tranny demon.
I heard Alex Darby was on the stream. There's a thought crime in process. He gifted 5 Nerd Wars memberships.
Look at this. Look at this.
Oh,
it's ridiculous.
Fuck. Okay, so my first time dressing up, instead of throwing things at the wall, I broke some of my panels. I just broke part of my blinds. That's your fault, Alex Darby. I hope you feel like you got your
that's what happens.
Thank you again.
That's what happens when you pretend to be Alex Jones.
Oh God. Yeah, I live in like the ghetto-ish area, so my blinds are really, really bad. I just put a hole in them.
Well, at least you didn't break your screen like Gary when you threw the Peter Parker. I was watching that one live. Oh, it was so funny.
Thank you, Alex Darby. When I eventually move, I'm gonna blame you. I'm telling maintenance. It's your fault.
Well, now all your brown friends, Erwin, are gonna poke through your blinds and see you have all of this nice stuff, and then they're gonna break into your house.
They're coming for all my toys. You can't have my toys. Those are my toys. Hold on. I'm gonna fix Thanos. I'm worried about he's gonna snap again. Sorry, continue. I'll get him. Don't worry.
I feel like there's an inevitable they wouldn't be able to read the comics if they stole them joke. I don't want to I'll say it because I heard it in my head.
There's plenty of pictures for them to look at. Thank you. All right, we're moving on.
That too, because if they try to sell them, they don't know how the internet.
You are fined 1 credit for a violation of the verbal morality standard.
Fuck you.
That was preemptive. No, that was preemptive. The thought police are here, Roger. You better behave. Thank you. We got a purge coming. Jeez.
We're gonna hide. I support the machine overlords. I love bugs. I don't want to own any media. That's all fake. That's digital. I don't own anything.
All right, we got Thanos. Do you think we can get death with this one? Hold on.
I can literally be arrested for speaking my mind in the United Kingdom.
That's really disturbing. Or calling police officers certain things.
Yeah, you assholes are bringing that to the rest of the world with your online safety bill too, right? Tell us a little bit about that before we move on to Star Wars Outlaws.
Well, the thing about the online safety bill, which will no doubt become the Online Safety Act, is that it censors what people are allowed to say online on the grounds, as it says, of safety and protecting children from all sorts of physical, verbal, and psychological attacks. So that's quite a wide-ranging attack format. There has been criticism that it can lead to censorship, and not just from alternatives, but folks within the establishment, even those within the damn chambers, especially in the House of Lords, which is full of old people who became so prominent that they were given lordships. But the point is, it will be passed. There will be some compromise, and people will be allowed to speak. And yes, my father just came in here and then left. My goodness. But there we go. It's not a good piece of legislation. But in my view, guys, Like,
tell me I'm beautiful, or else you're harassing me, Roger.
No, you are a pig. I wish you were black.
Police, where did that thought police officer go? That very attractive, very hilarious thought police officer. We're moving on before Roger sounds like he was about to go on a tear. So, Star Wars Outlaws, which you're like, Star Wars Outlaws? What game is that? The trailer they released like 5 months ago with the girl power girl boss as the main character. That's Star Wars Outlaws. To release before end of year. Yay. Assassin's Creed Codename Red, which I didn't know about, but Badger has some interesting information for us about, will launch by March 2025, Ubisoft CEO says. How about we start off with Codename Red? Why don't you go ahead and tell us about the next Assassin's Creed there, Badge?
Well, you know, everyone for years has been asking for a Assassin's Creed that's set in Japan or in samurai. And so they're finally giving it to us. And of course, you would expect maybe a Japanese protagonist, but nope. It's going to be a black dude from Africa because, of course, the one time in history where a black guy actually went to Japan and learned some things, which really just meant a feudal lord took him around and had him do feats of strength. They're going to turn that into he's a samurai and the main character. And I'm sure it'll be done as all the talent that it's always done when you put a character in just because they're, and it's going to work, by the way, too, because my friend who's black, I'm not going to say your name, but you're watching right now, said, I'm going to finally buy an Assassin's Creed because they put a black guy in it.
Shame.
Have we've got something. Standards. Better standards.
We've got something for that.
Shame.
He knows. I told him, by the way, there's already black guys in Assassin's Creed. Go play Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag and go play the Adewale DLC if you want that, like, good representation. But I don't think this is done because it's a great story. It's done just because they needed to woke.
Much like Assassin's Creed Mirage, which was recently released, and it was Ubisoft playing it safe while they released Skull and Bones, where they actually take a few risks. And from what I've seen, folks, it seems like Mirage is going to be better received. So what Ubisoft are now going to do is take their existing game structure and then just do black character, then female Asian character, then female towel head character, and just stick to the same format they've had over the generations and rinse and repeat, like Ubisoft are famous for doing.
Mirage was going to be DLC for Valhalla. It's with a character from Valhalla. This is just the prequel. The point is, if you played Valhalla in the end, you know everything that's going to happen in Mirage. You're just getting to see it. So they just expanded its own game. I have it. I bought it for % off. I haven't played it yet. I mean, spoiler, I sort of care about Assassin's Creed. So it upsets me when they abuse it like they've done for the last 4 games. But yeah, the problem is they've been taken over now too. So instead of doing what's good for the story, they're inserting all the stuff into it. Like you said, it's predatory. It's always been predatory, but now it's really predatory.
Speaking of other things they're destroying with that, Star Wars Outlaws. You also happen to be a big fan of Star Wars. How excited are you for this hipster to be the main character in a Star Wars game?
They're not going to let me change the character. I want character creator if you're going to. It's another Kathleen Kennedy self-insert. Does she have a British accent?
No, I don't know. I'd have to actually watch this again.
The gameplay trailer looks fine, but I don't want to be forced to play as this character. I just don't.
But she's female Han Solo. What? Do you not like strong women? Do you not like Han Solo?
Parent? She's a bad parent that loses her ship for 2 decades?
No, being a parent is too heteronormative.
Really, it's not even a joke. You're right.
Yeah, her haircut makes me think she might not be very heteronormative. All I'm just saying is she definitely used to have a Tumblr account. That's for sure. Let's pull her back up. I don't see many people being too excited.
So is this going to be like Assassin's Creed, or is this going to be like Far Cry?
It's supposed to be like Red Dead. It's supposed to be like Red Dead in the start, like open world, speeder instead of horse. But
Then get Rockstar to do it. Don't get Ubisoft to do it.
Yeah. Is there any game company is not fully infiltrated, or they still? Because a lot of times we say these names, like look what just happened with Rocksteady. The people that just made that game were not the Rocksteady that made the Arkham.
No.
Those people left, and it's who's left or taken over.
One studio I can recommend, although they were recently bought by Nacon, would have to be Spiders. The developers of Steel Rising, the developers of Greedfall, and the developers of Technomancer. Now they were a very small studio. I used to highly recommend them when they were independent, but Nacon, once known as Big Ben Interactive, French company, I think they are, they weren't known as the best of publishers. Kind of like Deep Silver, they're crap. So they bought a good developer, good indie developer.
Deep Silver, they're Risen, right? The Risen games, is that Deep Silver? Oh man, I think I played like at least 2 of them. Talk about old school 90s RPG feels, early 2000s.
But basically, there's a reason I hate Deep Silver, because they make such awful games, or used to publish them. Then I found out that Embracer like bought everyone, and now it's collapsing. The point is, ladies,
Group. I'm hearing about them.
THQ Nordic, a company I used to adore, and then I find out they actually made Embracer, and my head just fucking collapsed. In all seriousness, though,
they're the ones behind the Saints Row reboot, for those who don't know.
Which
Saints
was
Row
a disaster.
So good, some of the best co-op, and then they just got progressively worse and worse to that last release, which is laughable. A laughable parody.
I recommend
Roger,
Spiders.
continue.
I recommend Spiders as a developer. Steel Rising was good. Greedfall, it was given an 8 out of 10, I think, in 2019. But this was the same year Anthem came out, and back in late 2018, Fallout 76 came out. So basically, Greedfall was better than those games. But had it been released, same game, 5 years earlier, when Dragon Age Inquisition and The Witcher 3 came out, it wouldn't have gotten an 8 out of 10. It would have gotten a 6.
Yeah.
But yeah, Spiders is a developer I can recommend. Those 3 games are Technomancer, Greedfall, and Steel Rising.
All right, we've had enough of that interesting talk. Let's talk about Bill Maher weighing in on how Taylor Swift could potentially impact the presidential election. I can't wait for the AI images, personally. Some people think she's a psyop. So I like to think that people don't vote based on endorsements from celebrities, but I hate to say it, I think some people do vote based on endorsements from celebrities. Badger, would you vote for Joe Biden because one of your favorite actors or musicians told you to?
I mean, I wouldn't for any reason, but also I think I've seen some polling that she's just as likely to turn off people if she were to endorse him. So I think I don't think that's a thing.
I feel like she'd hurt her brand a little bit.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
fuck the super guy to have sex with a guy, not to endorse anyone. But yeah, people talk. It's a distraction.
Well, the power of popular culture, ladies and gentlemen, especially of establishment popular culture, waned a lot in the mid-2010s. I mean, the 2016 election is a great example. You had celebrity after celebrity supporting the Democratic candidate when an American nationalist who happens to be a billionaire and orange stood up and said, no more of this. I'm going to do my best to make America great again. And celebrity endorsements meant nothing at the end of the day. And it won't in 2024.
I think authenticity will win out, like all things. It's why we're doing it. It's why everyone's still around here.
Have we felt enough pain, though? Because people make really stupid mistakes when things are good, and then things get bad, and they come back into reality land. Have things gotten bad enough that we're going to be in reality land by the end of 2024?
No, I don't think so. No,
I don't think so.
We are what we're celebrating is the start of the fight. Like, because there's still a whole group, like I said, that thinks everything's just fine. They don't know what you're talking about. And it's going to get so bad now. Like I said, it's the year to find out that this will be the year to show them. And we will be here. When Erman says start your channel so you're ready, that's what he means. So that when they really lose their shit, we are here waiting, already ready to go, explaining calmly and clearly what happened, who did it, and how to fix it. That's all.
question is, what comparison should we make? Are we in 1979 when the commies had half the world, or are we like 1989 where they're on the verge of collapsing?
We're in the 30s. We're in the fourth turning. I'll whip it out. I'll do it.
No, we're waiting for the Mongolians.
Without whipping it out. Yeah, the fourth turning. The last fourth turning we had was the Great Depression and World War II. Before that was the Civil War, and before that was the American Revolution. And early 2030s is going to be the end of the next fourth turning. And global world civil war, giant economic collapse, Chinese EMPs.
WCW.
Wrestling?
World Civil War.
Oh, I was going to say.
It's going to be... when people actually realize how bad it is and they wake up... Yeah, no, this is the farther bad. We are waiting for the Mongolians to attack. We are waiting for the Horde, but we're trying to build walls and encampments right now. Like, it's going to get real bad. But thankfully, we will be here, like I said, to talk about it. But yeah, it's going to be like Order 66. All of a sudden, everyone's just going to switch and turn on each other. So...
people are just ready to support the next current thing. They are just raring to go. We haven't had a current thing in a while.
Well, we saw a taste of that in 2020.
That's the point. That's what I'm saying. We saw how easily the Joker... I said this to Erwin off stream. The Dark Knight's a great movie, but the Joker was right when he said that everyone would have... both those boats would have blown each other up if it was our actual world. We saw how easy they were ready to turn on each other over lies that they believe still.
Yeah, we kind of suck. So let's move on to a more important topic. Batman Arkham Knight sales jumped 50% thanks to Minecraft Squad killed the Justice League failure. Good. That is one of the nice things is with all of the bad content, the bad entertainment, the good entertainment gets a little extra love. And that's why something like Whippo is so successful, because people are hungry for good entertainment now. I say we need to be the ones who give it to them.
Yeah. And if the only solution to bad ideas is good ideas, if the truth will win out, that's the same thing with video games. All this crap will fall away like it is, and the good stuff like Arkham, Knights of the Old Republic, which you're going to play, and all those other ones will just keep getting better and brighter. It's inevitable.
Yeah. Thoughts on bad entertainment actually being a good thing there, Roger?
Well, I'm of the view, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to SS kill the Justice League, that the entire premise of the damn thing is odd. And of course, from what I've seen of it, number one, how can you kill Superman? Number two, the fact that Batman uses a gun is one hell of a red flag, because I saw that during a trailer. And it's just this glorification of villainhood, because the heroes who have been made to be villains have this ultimate solution to villainy, but it leads to tyranny and oppression. So we've got to get these bad guys to...
Have you seen the meme, like, which way, Western man? Do you want to go towards badass Arkham Batman or Harley Quinn? And I think the world is finally realizing, yeah, I want Batman instead.
It was originally going to be a Superman game. We heard forever after Arkham Knight they were doing a Superman game with Rocksteady, and then somehow that turned into that game, Kill the Justice League, which again could have been fine because it's been done a bunch in the comics where they go evil and the Teen Titans have to fight them or kill the Justice League, heavy quotations. But we didn't think you were actually going to do it and like point blank and laugh about it and pee on the Flash. It just...
As they destroy our heroes, they raise up the villains, they replace the heroes with anti-heroes, because we can't have heroes, because then that makes us better people. You like to talk about what, like a societal like scaffolding and whatever. So we have to have like religion make us good people, we have to have a tyrannical government force us to be good people, or we have culture and stories teach people to be good people, and a little side of gatekeeping as well. So we can get those railings up on society so we don't go plummeting off the cliff.
It's not even... all you have to do is don't let anyone do anything unless they know what they're talking about. We let an entire group of writers write shit they don't know what they're talking about, make games about things they don't know what they're talking about. If you don't have at least this or have read that many comics, I don't want you doing anything to do with Batman or vice versa on anything. Yeah. Because we see the results now, and how many times do we watch something? Is people who is this made for? Not us.
Gays. It's made for gays.
Dan Vasquez,
yes, but not the male. Not the male.
Dan
gays.
Vasquez has great taste. What are you talking about? Yeah,
So,
it's weird.
We've got one last superhero movie that might be something good. Marvel's alleged full title for Deadpool 3 is so creatively bankrupt, it's impressive. So this is very much alleged. This is a scooper, so believe scoopers if you want to. Deadpool and Friend. Before we talk about if we think Deadpool 3 will actually be good, how, Badger, do you feel about Deadpool and Friend? Personally, I think it's still better than Joker Folia do. Everyone tell Nag all that, please.
It means the madness of 2. See, we learned something. It sounds pretty low effort, just like when we heard that the title of the Mandalorian movie is going to be Mandalorian and Grogu. You just described what it is. The only reason I think they put and Friend is because it's a nondescript who the friend is, and they can switch because it's a multiverse movie, and we're probably getting like 20 different versions of Logan Wolverine, as well as every other cameo that they could get.
We already have Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe or whatever. Should have just given us that and then rebooted.
I've heard that might actually be what they're like a little bit doing. What they're saying is this is going to get us to that Marvel reset a lot quicker than we were expecting. But that might just be cope. I don't know. I'm going to enjoy it just because I like Ryan Reynolds and I like Hugh Jackman.
Oh, yeah, we're getting there. Yeah, Roger, your thoughts on Deadpool 3 and this terrible title?
I think it'll probably be the best multiverse Marvel film.
And funniest, I would probably say, because they used to be quite funny, and it's just gone downhill, and it's just gone like cringe.
They made everyone like that instead of just like every other one. They forgot you could do a serious Marvel movie.
Isn't this the only one this year? The only film?
Yep. The only Marvel movies in 2024 is the Deadpool one.
They're gambling on this then, being their greatest success.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say, because remember they had to pause for that strike. And then they could, but of course, you don't know how much was done. And if the only thing I think it would be good is that Ryan Reynolds is actually the showrunner. He's calling the shots. And as we just talked about, one of the big problems, they don't really have these directors are cast. They show up, the action scenes are done, and they don't really know what they're shooting. Even Nia DaCosta on the Marvel said she didn't know what she was shooting half the time. I believe Ryan has actual creative control, which is why it's R-rated.
If that's true, that's a good thing, because a lot of the reason why his stuff is so funny is because he's also usually one of the writers too. So it's him actually being funny.
Well, the best multiverse saga films of this, not this phase, of phase 4 and phase 5, which I believe is the current phase, are films in which Disney Marvel has had as much input on as possible. I mean, a great example of this would be of Spider-Man No Way Home, where they had a limited influence, and it did incredibly well because they had so much, or rather so little influence. And since Deadpool was part of the Fox brand, as far as I'm aware, and Disney bit off a lot to chew on that one and had to pay through the nose for it, hopefully that Fox influence has remained to create this third film, and then don't make any more because they'll fucking infect it.
And after they gave us the Spider-Man No Way Home with all the fan service, so there's little involvement from Disney Marvel and a lot of fan service. They decided, let's give them Madam Web.
And the key thing, though, that we all knew they were going to miss the point in No Way Home was it wasn't actually fan service in the sense that they didn't just show us Toby and Andrew. They had legitimate parts, legitimate meat. Andrew Garfield got arguably the best of the entire movie when he got to his catharsis for failing to save Gwen in the second movie. He saves the MGA from MCU, and he's like, are you okay? He got like the best moment. That was not a cheap cameo, and you just... Yeah, that's what they failed to do with Doctor Strange 2. It's just, what is this? You just killed everyone off. It's a cheap cameo. Deadpool seems like they might do both. A bunch of cheap cameos, but also give some real moments to the Fox X-Men, as you were saying, Roger. Ryan, everything from Fox might come in, including Matthew Vaughn's X-Men First Class.
I'll allow it. I just want it to be entertaining and funny and not just crap on... Well, normally I wouldn't want it to crap out and everything, but like irreverent humor and stuff like that is, Deadpool's wheelhouse.
I mean, one of the reasons why they've resisted having Logan wear the full, yellow and black getup is because I don't think people in the company want to see Hugh Jackman wearing that getup and then have a meme of like two Batmen kissing.
Yeah, you can't unsee it
for Logan's face, which would be very disturbing in live action, I think.
Oh God, now I see it. Oh God, why would you do that to me, Roger?
You missed the all leather jumpsuits. All black leather that Brian's in here. I remember my mom used to work in Hollywood, and I was in Hollywood at the time, so I was like 13 or whatever. But I heard them talking about those leather jumpsuits that they wore in X-Men, and they would say that the backs kept blowing out of them, like they were like 6th or 7th one. And they even make a joke about, what are you expecting, yellow spandex? I was like, yes, we want to see you. And think about that was 20 years ago that they didn't want to make them accurate, and now 23 years later. We're finally going to see the man in an accurate Logan Wolverine costume.
And the only reason that is the case, and it's unfortunate that Hugh Jackman is getting older now, and therefore he's losing his prime, so to speak. But the full reason it is the full getup is to hide the fact that he's not as bulky as he used to be. Because after you reach your 50s, folks, it's hard to stay in your prime.
And only so much testosterone replacement and working out and diet will help. He even said he's got irreversible body damage from jacking up that much that long as well. And this is probably definitely the last time we're going to see it.
All I got to say is, Roger, just wait till you hit your 30s. You don't even have to wait till your 50s. Once you hit your 30s, everything collapses. And then you won't be saying you're going to outlive all of us. You're going to say, I just want to die. All of this sucks. Why does everything hurt?
Hey, folks, you've never seen me stand up. For all you know, I could be wheelchair bound right now.
I think you're half spider like Darth Maul. Yeah, you're half spider like Darth Maul. Yeah, they could give Hugh. They might even the Natalie Portman treatment that they did for Thor, where they have dots on her arms. Yeah, spoiler, she didn't actually work out to look like that. They could, but Hugh is he's like a Christian Bale, where he's not going to fake it. I mean, come on, look at that. He's not going to fake it. He wants to be jacked. I mean,
he's like the acting version of the Undertaker. He's been doing it so long now that you can't do what you did in your 20s, in your 50s, or in your 60s. I mean, this is a problem wrestlers have. It's an addiction that they can't get away from.
Well, I think this is because two-part. One, Ryan Reynolds has been hounding him for years. And two, Ryan Reynolds has been hounding him for years, but he finally is going. I bet you he said to him, bro, we can finally be in a movie together and you can play the Wolverine you probably wanted to play for a long time. We could wear the costume, we could do everything, and we could play together as homies. And I bet you that's what got him to do it for the last time. Because as you said, he can't physically do it anymore. And CGI will only get you so far. And I don't want Hugh Jackman to be the Wolverine of the new MCU. I want a 5'4" little angry dude that I don't know who the hell he is, and I've only seen him as Wolverine. Comic actor.
That's a damn.
You want Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah.
I'll take Daniel Radcliffe if he can sell me and he bulks up. He's short.
Because I remember he played like a devil or a demon character, and he played the rough look well, but when I see him as Logan or as Wolverine, it's like, did someone steal Harry Potter and then turn him into a fucking experiment?
Yeah, no, he's he's got some good acting chops. He's got some good stories about how he was drunk most of the time filming Harry Potter. I would take him as Wolverine, sure. But he better, like I said, he better bulk up and learn how to do the Canadian.
I like the getting someone out of nowhere approach.
I would prefer to get all of them out of nowhere, because I'm tired of these actors thinking that they're,
Why is Harry Potter Wolverine? That's just what I'll be thinking the whole time.
Right. And I think a lot of people would think that. But the point is, if he was good enough, we wouldn't think that. There's plenty of times like, I don't want that guy. And he did it. I was like, okay, I like that guy as it. Never mind.
The problem is, it's very hard finding someone who's come out of nowhere.
Yeah, he did betray JK.
Yeah, it's hard to get someone out of nowhere who's also like really talented. But I mean, that's how all actors start. Do a little casting. Do your job.
Plenty of actors. Yeah, that's the point. I guess that goes to the larger thing is who the hell are the casting directors? They're all woke AF and they don't want to hire, they don't want to go for anyone that would be good for the role. So that's why we have to fix those problems.
Well, actually,
we're winning.
Daniel Radcliffe, as woke as he is, actually, he could make it. And yeah, I agree that the Timothy Chalameting of our heroes is going to probably happen, where instead of the Wolverines, we get the Twinkerines.
I don't want to be a hypocrite. So when we point out that women, it's like, how the hell are they beating this dude? I feel the same way when I watch Timothy Chalamet in Dune. I don't care if you're good with a knife, dude. What's stopping a guy from just picking you up and flailing you like a rag doll? You have no weight to you.
He looks like a child. I mean,
which is why they like it.
And that's the problem, to use a wrestling reference in the modern day. A lot more wrestlers are like cruiserweights, and you can't have a 150 pound guy go up against someone who's 300-400 pounds and have a convincing match.
Not without being like jumping around or whatever, you know?
I mean, WCW had this big problem. You can't have Kevin Nash going up against Rey Mysterio and have it be convincing all the time.
Yeah, you got to have that speed or that smartness to make up for it, but you also need to be losing right up until the very end, where then that big guy, you find that weak spot or whatever.
You get that one last second. Yeah. When you watch Tombstone, like you said, you were like, oh yeah, I feel like I got a boost in testosterone. Yeah, because it showed you what a real men used to be, that were nice to women, that took no shit from no one, that protected children. Don't have much of that anymore. Yeah, I'd like to get those characters back and played by actors that maybe in their real life don't hold abhorrent views, that are the complete opposite of the character they're trying to play.
With all of that said, I am hyped for Dune 2. Those trailers in the theater, all the bass and the sound, I'm like, yes, why am I watching this movie? Just give me Dune 2 like I was supposed to get like 4 or 5 months ago or however long ago it was. And then after that, it's Monkey Man. So Dune 2 and then Monkey Man, which is like the Indian guy who
Tech is very excited for Monkey Man.
Yeah, he's like a UFC kind of fighter or whatever on the side making money, and then he's like goes work for some like brothel rich people or whatever, sees people get mistreated, and he's like, all right, it's time to go full on Indian John Wick on these guys.
You wouldn't be able to make a film called Monkey Man in the United States of America.
He's like the white monkey or whatever too. Yeah, they call it Monkey Man. He's the white monkey. I see people call it the white monkey, and I'm like, I think you mean Monkey Man, but yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
It does look good. The dude is not known for fighting. Dev Patel or whatever, Slumdog Millionaire, and he was in the first Avatar as anyway, Zuko. He looked good. The fighting looked good. Normally when you see an actor do it, you're like, nah, but now granted, I'm sure he has a really good stunt double with the mask on, but
Westward, what's your movie channel called? Also, somehow you're okay. Westward, feel free to drop the link once I make you on.
Yeah. No, I'm interested in it. And Dune, I watched the extended, it's him latching onto the sandworm that they had up, and I was like, oh. And this is just on a monitor.
When the 3 worms come out, like right towards the end, the first one and the others fall, I'm like, yes, give me this. And then when he puts the Bene Gesserit, he uses the voice to put the Bene Gesserit in her.
That is going to be used in so many clips. Yeah.
Silence!
It looks like an actual movie. We get so much content and so much stuff put out on streaming. This looks like an actual movie, and I'm here for that.
Yeah, we support small channels here, and all my homies in chat are going to be blue as soon as I possibly can make them. So yeah, Westward, you feel free to, you're a mod now. You can drop links. If someone gets a little too mouthy in here, you feel free to be as tyrannical as you please as well. Yeah, you guys talk. I got things to do.
Nerd Wars is very open. He's very energetic, but that runs the risk of him getting fucked real bad. So I would advise caution, Erwin.
Oh yeah, no. Once I get fucked over, don't worry. I will be less generous.
Good.
Don't abuse the power. Don't abuse the power.
Don't be the man or woman who fucks Nerd Wars.
When I made everybody mods, the first thing one of my mods did, down upwards actually, was to remove one of Hypnotic's comments because someone told him to. And I'm like, that is the exact sort of abuse of power I want to see here. So this chat is for my homies and me to hang out. we are going to gatekeep here, and I figure if everyone is blue, then I know we're good. There's no one I need to look out for. We're all good. So
build the wall. Build the wall.
Yeah, we do gatekeep here.
Do it. Yeah, make them pay for it.
Yeah, Cookie, I was gonna make you a mod, but then I'm like, everyone will be blue, so I like seeing some greens as well. So for now, you're not gonna be a mod because I want to see some greens in chat.
If everyone is special, then no one is special.
Yeah, I'm gonna make him earn it. But Cookie's a homie. I really appreciate him.
By
And
the way,
yes,
old school recommendations: first season of Heroes, because they gave everyone powers afterwards. But at least the first season.
My buddy started rewatching it. I keep seeing it when I go over, and I'm like, oh my god, I wish I could watch this, but just like download it into my brain.
Because
Please,
it was post 9/11. So everyone needed a little bit of, hey, we can all be sort of what we're doing now, the feeling of like, ooh, this is getting bad. We could all maybe be the heroes we need and save each other together.
How do I unmod people, Tech Rat?
I have made this. I'm never going to financially recover from this.
No dancing.
Okay,
no
you're
tiny
agreeing now,
hats
Tech Rat.
dancing, folks.
We've got something for that. Jesus Christ, Roger.
No
moment.
dancing.
You are fined 1 credit for a violation of the verbal morality.
I have no idea what he's even talking about. Let's move on to. We're almost done with the stream. So
responsibility.
I was going to be doing a giveaway to everybody for open to everyone who was a green in chat, but I think I'm just going to give this AC Blue to Badger. If he wants it. Unless someone in chat who's a green wants to make an argument of why they deserve this more than Badger. Honestly, I don't even care about Badger. He just happens to have a relative who's the perfect age group to read this, who I want to read. But also, he's addicted to comic books. He also really likes Drunk 3PO. And oh my god, this thing is so freaking good. Maybe he'll read this and make a comic book himself. So unless anyone wants to claim it as their own, I'm going to probably send it to Badger.
That's a nice pair of glasses you've got there, Erwin.
What, these ones?
Yeah, they look very... Big yourself up so we can see them.
Why, do you want a pair now, too? Do I have to send you stuff now, too?
Look at that. Look at that nice pair of glasses. Look how white it is.
They're still available. Yeah, I know. I've got so much white, I have to have the black hat just to keep my white balance happy with me. As we learned on our yesterday's stream. All right, anyone stealing this book away?
Yeah,
give it to Badger, give it to
Down,
Badger.
Upwards, and Jet, I see are the real ones. But, I mean, legitimately, if anyone really does want this, tell him. Otherwise, yeah, I will... Oh, let me see. Yeah,
I'm going to give it to Badger good.
I guess I'm reading it. Yeah. And the book, too. Yeah, he gives it to me after the stream for talking over him. I got to earn it.
Yes, so I will definitely be doing an AC Green review. I had wanted to do one for this book, but then I wasn't able to get in on the first one. I had to get the second print, and it was a little too late by then. But I did do a secret project with Drunk 3PO. I may have taken everybody's reviews and put them into one video, and I may have made him cry a little bit. And I told him if I made him cry, he owed me a gifty, which is why he popped in chat the other day, I think, and gave out some gifties to chat.
Well, I have a book to shout out, and this book is for all my minority folks in the chat.
Okay, let's just go ahead and get this ready.
You are fined 1 credit for a violation of the verbal morality standard.
Fuck you.
So eventually we might get an
How to be human.
We might get an AC Blue
How to be
book.
human.
We might get an AC Blue book here shortly. Or AC Green is coming out soon, and I think he's going to put the video out once he gets done with all that stuff. Yeah, Jay is such good people. And, he's a simple man. He's a lovable goofball. You read this and you're like, holy crap, I think he's secretly a genius.
He's deceptive. Yeah, no, he's deceptive.
It's so
he plays
good.
a dummy. He's not. Because I've seen him on Cobracast say really long, like eloquent, which I know you'd never think I'd say Jay and eloquent, but he is. So I think he's fooling, or he just lets them make him so nervous that he forgets how to speak, because he can very much speak very well, more than I am right now.
Drunk 3PO Jay, he knows multiple languages. He even knows the language of the Creole. And if there are any Vietnam vets in chat, short history of the Vietnam War.
Okay,
I know what you went for. I know what you went through.
One of the reasons Jay is so bad with the English language, and I think maybe 3 out of 5 times he says my name correctly when I'm in his chat, which is why you guys are all called nerd runners, by the way. If you've ever wondered what my chat is, you guys are nerd runners thanks to him. He knows multiple languages. And why does he know those multiple languages? Because he's a good Christian boy doing the Lord's work, helping out those kids. Such good people.
French Creole,
and that's why
somewhat speaking it.
That's why I was not so happy about seeing him get bullied into not watching any of his friends' shows anymore, which is why I had Jay Appreciation Day where I was going to give this out. And then I decided to put it off. And then we decided to have Meme on Ryan month instead. Not Roger here, different Ryan, which is why I call this guy Roger.
Fellowship folks, I can tell when someone is in the fellowship or is in Geeks and Gamers when they call me Roger instead of Ryan, because there are too many damn Ryans. So I know. I keep notes. I keep records. I'm aware of hundreds of fine folks and fellow creators. That is my niche. It's not the people don't subscribe to me because of the content I create. Have you seen it?
It's because you're so attractive.
No, it's not that either.
Is it the bathrobe?
Subscribe for the beard, but
no.
All right, we've hit the 2-hour mark. Anything you guys want to say before we wrap it up and I force everybody to plug their channels against my will? Anything? Yeah, you guys are at a loss for words?
By all means.
We'll do it live!
All right, this guy to stage right, her audience right, Angry Badger, unlike me, has a growing YouTube channel. I kind of hate how talented he is. It makes me angry quite a lot.
This many away from 800.
He's a rising star. Well, then put the damn link in the chat, like a mod.
Wait,
are you even a mod? Then get in here and I'll mod you up.
I'm going to make Angry Badger a rising star tomorrow alongside Caro Brown, the executive assistant of the Ripperverse. They will be 2 of at least 3 rising stars I will make tomorrow. So there we go.
I am very much looking forward to the next time when we meet together. It'll be fun for sure.
Hopefully it's next Saturday and then on the 20th.
And then we've got Ryan Roger at the Reality Based, who's had me on stream twice now, where I just make a fool of everyone and put on costumes and put holes in my wall and fun stuff like that. Even though it's his fault for me losing subscribers, I guess you guys could subscribe to him if you feel like it.
Create Nerd Wars Live and then cut up the bits, timestamps, to then put on your main channel.
Yeah, I'm going to take your advice on that when I do start streaming, is create a separate, because that you guys, you hear about the algorithm, you don't know how much of that is like a wives' tale or it's a real, and it seems a lot of it seems to be it's a real living, breathing thing.
Yeah, channel suppression. Yeah, channel suppression is one of the 4 great foes of a content creator. It does exist. It is a big problem, and I dare say it's a bigger problem for more prominent creators than it is up and comers. So yeah, definitely prioritize different content for different channels, videos for one channel, shorts, I fucking hate shorts. Shorts trap. A shorts channel and then a live streaming channel. That is the way to go. So if they do purge you, they'll have to purge 3 accounts instead of 1.
Well, that
which creates more of a domino effect.
Diversify,
yeah.
Which is yeah.
So I was planning on doing some Sunday video game streams, which I'm currently now rethinking after that. I really just need a Nerd Wars Live channel. I hate to say it, but I'm going to say
Live,
screw it. I'm going to say screw it and keep doing it.
Nerd Wars Shorts.
So I've got too much crap to do. I was wanting to start it this Sunday. I think next Sunday is when I'm going to do it. And the game we'll be playing is Knights of the Old Republic. So as much as I want to see Tifa and steal her panties, apparently we can't steal her panties now. It's going to be a much older game, Knights of the Old Republic.
Knights of the Old Republic is truly God tier writing. BioWare, when it was the height of if I dare say, Knights of the Republic almost made BioWare what BioWare, and not that they didn't have prior success, but like that cemented them as like, oh, yeah. I'm so jealous that you get to play through that game for the first time.
Well, I'm only 6 subscribers away from 1900, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you all very much for subscribing. More the merrier.
I'm only 50 subscribers away from going back under 18,000. So I believe in you guys. We can do it. And before I go,
that would be one hell of a collaboration, by the way. Schedule permitting, of course.
Yeah, as is a busy boy.
But then I have to be cringe and ask people, shout out again to Alex Darby for fighting that good war against all those evil grays in chat and turning them green.
And truth, everyone knows this. Truth, some of the best characters. That's why everyone was so happy when that remake got canceled, because we knew they were gonna ruin some of the best writing and characters. Don't you dare change Bastila. Oh, yeah.
And you'll be able to say all those things if you join me in my Sunday streams on Discord.
There you go. There you go.
But till then, next stream will be on Monday with Angry Badger, 3 to 4-ish p.m. Eastern. It's been a pleasure, guys.
Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on the whole time, huh? I don't even know. Hello.
Screw you guys. I'm going home. I needed to get rid of the human garbage, otherwise known as my best friends. Come on! Bonnie, how do you keep getting back in?
Well. Bye.
Smile and wave, boys.